PrepZone Game Time, presented by
Hello and welcome in. James Phillips here with Johnathan Bentley. This is PrepZone Game Time presented by Bevill State Community College. Johnathan, it's our first week of the 2021 season, and it couldn't come any sooner. I'm glad that it's here. After last year, we had teams struggle to make the playoffs, didn't really have anybody make a deep run. Maybe we've got a couple teams this year that are going to turn that corner and get us a little further into the playoffs.
Lord, I hope so. I think it was Addison. Maybe it was the only team that made the second round last year.
I think that's right, yeah.
Oakman had Fife, remember?
Yeah.
They don't want to remember this.
Yeah.
I don't either, it was bad. But you know what? I feel a lot more confident this year in Oakman, Dora, just basically everybody else.
Right. Yeah, I feel like this year you look at some of those teams that made a little step last year, like Summerton Christian, Dora made some improvements. They got hit by COVID, late. I think we'll see some of those teams take that next step and make a second round of the playoffs. And like Oakman, you really don't know with them. They could be a juggernaut in that classification and could make it several rounds.
I think they will.
I mean, they're even talking about it's a disappointment if they don't make it to the championship.
Everybody's back. That's
Right.
the thing. I mean, yes, they were a first round team, and eventually won't you run into Fife again?
Right.
But I mean, let's at least maybe win the region or second, host a game. That would be nice. And Dora, I mean, that wrecked their season last year.
It did.
Oh, now let's talk about COVID first.
Yeah.
We have got to wipe that out.
Right.
I mean, I think the numbers might actually be higher now than they were last year.
Talking to a couple of coaches this week, they said that they've had more issues with COVID during this particular time, like the fall camp and that sort of thing, than they did all of last season.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not a good thing.
And last year, I remember going in last year, I said we'd make 2 weeks.
Right.
And of course, we somehow made it through the whole season.
Yeah.
Well, most of them did.
Yeah.
I mean, Curry lost 4 games. Dora lost a couple. I mean, Dora had a chance to win the region. Had to forfeit 2 games in a row, and that was it. They were 4th.
And that put them 4th and put them in a tough road.
I think
game.
Madison Academy maybe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if we made it through last year, hopefully we can make it again somehow.
Right. Well, in this first week, we've got some pretty interesting games that may show us kind of where each team stands. It's kind of a weird week. We've got a lot of teams playing each other from the county, but then we've got some teams like Oakman that's going to Gordo. That'll be a real statement game there for Oakman. Our game of the week this week, we do need to tell people that. They see the Jasper Viking helmet. It's Jasper hosting Mars Hill. That was a good game last season to open the year up. Mars Hill gave Jasper everything they wanted for about 3 quarters, and then Jasper kind of pulled away late. And so we get to see that this year again. And Mars Hill is one of those teams. They may be a 2A team or 1A team, but they can flat out play, and they can play with anybody in any classification.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fun game last year. But, I mean, they haven't lost. On the field, they had a forfeit loss later in the year.
Right.
But they basically ran the table
Right.
after beating Jasper. And that means that includes going to Coleman and blanking them.
Well, and they were scoring, 70 points a game 2 or 3 times during the season. I think they were the highest scoring team in the state last year in all classifications.
And they beat Abbeville, 40 in the championship game.
Right, yeah.
So 2A was nothing for them.
Yeah, 2A was nothing.
Now, they lost a lot.
1A.
Yeah, I mean, they've won a championship 2 of the last 3 years.
Right, and played all 3 years for a championship.
Yes, they did. Yep. So, I mean, this is a powerhouse.
With that being our game of the week this week, we've caught up with Coach Bailey, caught up with several of the players. Our first segment that we've got is that we talk to the seniors from the Jasper team and ask them what it means to them to be a Viking.
What it means to be a Viking.
What it means to be a Viking.
To be a Viking.
What it means to be a Viking is being tough and being disciplined and
As soon as I came here, they just opened their arms for me. Made me feel like family.
It's in the word Viking. There's 3 letters in there, K-I-N, kin. Just nothing but family.
It's all about family. Knowing that I have brothers for life.
It just means brotherhood, family. I can depend on my brothers, the coaches.
Family, love, kindness.
I love my teammates. I love the community.
just being able to represent your community.
It's a special place, and it's a special place because of special people.
To be a Viking is to play for your community, play for your family, your friends, teammates, and
the support group and the community. So that really made it feel like home here.
and it means the world to me. My brother was one back in high school. It means the world.
Even after school, I've been to all the Jasper City systems, so it's just a big family.
Being a Viking to me is about being strong, and that's all this football team is.
Just playing hard every snap and just never giving up.
And we just don't give up, and we just fight like Vikings.
It's just integrity, honor, compassion, ambition.
Intensity.
I've been dreaming about this all my life. I mean, I've been waiting to be a Viking.
You know, so this bunch of seniors is the first group that I've had from freshmen all the way till they're seniors now. So watching these guys grow up, you know, having them since they were puppies when they're freshmen, and then seeing the way they've grown and matured and developed now, that means a lot, you know, being with guys long enough to watch them grow up.
And being able to come out here and just put a show on for everyone in the community of Jasper.
And I was born and raised with my brothers on this football team.
I love it. I love the school, love all the teachers and everything. It just means the world to me.
Just getting to wear the Viking on your chest is an honor.
That's why I choose Jasper.
That's why I chose to be a Viking.
Go Vikes.
We're back. Johnathan, you heard the Jasper seniors. They're excited to start their season. They're letting us know what it means to be a Viking. And all these guys, the things that they kept touching on was community and pride and a brotherhood, and that's really what it seems this team has got. This is the first team that has gone through 4 years with Philip Bailey as a assistant coach and now head coach, and so we'll see what that progression is like, seeing these guys who were freshmen when he took over the strength program to now being seniors, and they're all excited to start the year and to play Mars Hill.
It's hard to believe he's been here 4 years, you know?
I mean, it really is.
Yeah, he came with a new regime, and then now here he is, and hopefully this second year in this region is going to be tough, but I think they really believe they can do something this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see improvement, and I think we will see that. They got to stay healthy also.
I think we'll definitely see improvement. I think Bailey talked about on his coach's show, having that many people back on offense is such a big thing. They've got 9 starters back on offense. Spencer Rosenfeld is healthy. He's going to be throwing the ball around a lot. They've got several running backs. They don't have that big power back like they've had the last several years, but they have several backs who are fast and can get away and in open field can make a big play happen. And then several receivers, too, that are going to make big plays. Like Kevon Samuel is going to be somebody who really steps up this year, I think. He's going to be probably their biggest weapon on offense.
Yeah, I mean, that guy, he can play on both sides of the ball. But that senior group is solid. Yeah. It's a good core to build around. And the line, like you said, the offensive line is back. And those weapons are back.
Right.
So if they can just really, points were the problem last year, mainly because of the Rosenfeld injury.
Right.
But also, I mean, you've got to score against these teams.
Well, and last year it wasn't even just points. It was we can't move the ball enough to get a first down to hold on to the football. Yeah. So we keep giving the football to teams who are basically NFL teams, and they're scoring every time they touch it really quickly, you know. And I think that's the biggest difference from last year and this year. Hopefully you'll see more ball control, and with Rosenfeld and the key people there, they'll hold on to the football and they'll win time of possession, and that puts them in a game.
Yeah, it seemed like every time they got behind the sticks, it was not good.
Right, not at all.
It was punting. I mean, Kevon was running quarterback.
Right, yeah. And he never played quarterback.
Yeah, it was really tough after the Coleman game. It changed our whole season.
It did. And the Coleman game, hopefully we'll have better luck this year and not be playing at 11 o'clock on Saturday and nobody gets hurt, because that was a huge momentum shift from the first game to the second game.
God, that was just a bad week.
Yeah.
It got moved to Saturday. Everybody said it was like 100 degrees out there.
Right, it was rough.
The quarterback got hurt. I mean, it was a mess. But they come here this year.
That's true.
That'll be a big week 2 game.
Yeah, it will be a big week 2 game. How about we talked to Coach Bailey? We mentioned him a few minutes ago. One of my favorite segments that we always have is Coach Speak. And last year, Coach Bailey was my favorite because he just throws out crazy words sometimes, you know. So we like to catch up with some of the coaches and see what they have to say during practice. And that's our Coach Speak segment.
Quickly. Let's go. Line down. Run it. Eyes, baby, eyes. Where your eyes? They're going. Line up. Better. That's better. better. Good, that's the one. That's the one. That'll win, right? Feel that. Flat vertical. Feet. Ho, it's better. Feet. That's better. Ho, black will get in there. Black will Jody stay. Get on the other side. Be square. Hey, inside foot straight up the field. Right step, left flipper, low to high. You step flat behind him. No space in it. Flat vertical feet. Oh. Flat vertical feet. That's better. Good, that's the one. Inside foot straight up the field. How quickly can you get your second one in the floor, right? You're having that long second step right now. Get the second one in the floor. Deliver a blow. Line down. Flat vertical feet. Whoa, baby. That's why y'all got to come off together and be square, right? Together, back there. Ho. See, you see how much better that goes when you work together, right? That's the whole point of this. Flat vertical feet. Flat vertical feet. Oh, that's better. That's the best rep y'all took all day. Flat vertical, no. Oh, baby. You got to get to him, right? He's the point man when you got in a 2-eye. You're the drag man, right? You got to get your hip to him. He's right step, left flipper. You have to get your hip to his, right? And that's when y'all come off hip to hip. Line down. Feet. Snap hips, run your feet. Oh. Snap hips, run your feet. Wide base. Feet. Gotta help me out. Oh. Buzz, don't reach for the ball, right? Take your thumb down, put it on your sternum, elbow high, make a pocket. Don't reach for the ball. Yeah, well. Fundamentals. Shut up. That's about enough out of the peanut gallery.
Oh my God! Put it in front.
It was a better ball than it was before. More of a pocket guy, you know. Keep me in my sweet spot, man. Okay, let me throw the ball, guys. Hey! Let me throw it. Y'all block somebody. Okay, here we go. Try tight, right off the guard's ass, right? He's now, guard, you've got to go. You've got to get off the ball and go and clear that 3-tech. You are flat right off his ass, kicking out that 3. All right, give him a look at this fast now. Fast. Just took me a while to get going, you know. Here we go, line it up. Same play.
Your story starts at Bevill State Community College. Whether you are just starting out or starting over, Bevill State has an opportunity that is right for you. With 5 locations serving 7 counties. You don't have to go far to start your own success story. Plus, with tuition lower than 4-year colleges, you won't need to spend more for a great education. Visit us online at bscc.edu to learn about your options for seamless academic transfer and high-demand career tech and health science offerings. Let us help you tell your story.
PrepZone Game Time presented by Bevill State Community College. James Phillips back with Johnathan Bentley. Johnathan, you saw Coach Bailey there on Coach Speak. What was the most interesting thing is that Coach Bailey was trying to play quarterback for a little bit, I think.
He still got it.
No, I don't think he ever had it, was the problem.
Not a quarterback.
Some of the players were giving him the what for there on the video.
I didn't throw it very often. I'm guessing.
And you know, he was an offensive lineman, I believe, in college, so they probably didn't let him throw the ball very much either, or catch it, or run with it, or
he didn't touch the ball.
Anything athletic, they didn't let Coach Bailey do. Sorry, Coach. We had a chance also, since we've been at Jasper, to talk to one of their players who's just an outstanding athlete, Preston Reed. He's finally a senior. Seems like he's been playing there for, 6, 7, 8 years now? And he probably did because he started playing as like a 6th grader.
Got that extra year too, I believe.
Right. But has done a little bit of everything during his time on the team. Has played quarterback early in his career, played some quarterback last year when they had injury situations, but really just a utility guy that's wide receiver, safety, kicker, punter. I think that he snaps the ball, holds it, and kicks it. Like, I don't know how he does it, but it seems like that's what he does. And he's never off the field.
He's just a utility guy.
Right.
You know, it reminds me of well, that's not to say anything bad about it. I mean, he can do everything well.
Right.
It's like a jack of all trades kind of guy. But on a baseball team, he'd be that guy that can play any position.
Right.
Because that's what he does on the football field.
And that's what he does.
He can catch the ball. It's weird to have a kicker that can also score a touchdown.
Well, yeah, an athletic kicker is sometimes hard to find. But and if you have an athlete that kicks, usually he's not a very good kicker. But even as a sophomore, he was like the 3rd leading scorer in the state as a kicker. at that position.
Right.
It's
rare.
And on top of all that, he's also a state championship wrestler. He has a 32 on his ACT. Like, he's basically Captain America.
And soccer player, right?
Used to play soccer, did track this past season. But just an outstanding athlete, a great kid, comes from a great family. And so we wanted to highlight him this week since Jasper's our game of the week.
While the Jasper Vikings have gotten used to having players participate on both sides of the football, there's only one team member who plays on all sides of the football, Preston Reed. Reed, a senior, plays wide receiver, safety, kicker, and punter for the Vikings.
So in freshman year, I was a quarterback, and I wasn't very good at it, as I soon figured out on the high school level. I just wasn't able to read the field and do what I needed to do.
With a team-focused mentality, Reed decided to attempt kicking between his 9th and 10th grade years. As a sophomore, Reed finished the season as the 3rd highest scoring kicker in the state.
No, there was no need to play quarterback anymore, and then there was an opening spot for a kicker. So I was like, all right, it's something to do. To start as a sophomore would be pretty nice. And so I worked for it, and then I eventually got that position. I mean, I played soccer, but other than that, I had no background in kicking at all. I just kind of thought it'd be kind of interesting to get to do something on the varsity level as a sophomore.
Reed continued kicking and punting duties in 2020, but he also saw more time as a wide receiver and a safety, hardly ever exiting the field.
Not very often. Halftime. So halftime in between the quarters, that's about all I get. But other than that, it's pretty fun. I love it. It's probably my favorite thing to do. Kicking is great, but it's also not as like active. Like, I love getting to just be able to run and just play, contact, all of it. So getting to catch the ball, run down the field, score, best part of the game in my opinion.
Athletic accomplishments for Reed do not end on the gridiron. He is also a state champion wrestler, member of the Jasper High track team, and a former soccer player. Reed is also a well-rounded student, scoring a 32 on his ACT.
What's the goal for this season?
To make the playoffs, for sure. If we can have a playoff run, that'd be really nice to end like that as a senior.
Do you have any personal individual goals?
1,000 yards receiving and just a good number of tackles on defense as a safety.
And not miss many kicks?
That's right.
Welcome back, guys. James Phillips here and Johnathan Bentley again. We're joined now by a face that you may not recognize from PrepZone. It's Miss Renee Holly. She is a sales consultant here at the Daily Mountain Eagle, and she is one heck of a football picker that people don't realize. And I still think, I don't know how you cheat, but somehow you are cheating.
I am not cheating. Not a cheater.
What's funny is whenever a woman does good, they're like, their husband picked it, and you said, absolutely not.
Nope.
This
it's
is
all
totally
me.
you.
I mean, I truly look at the stats and like what they're doing, and yeah, it's fun. I like it.
You've even said college is more your thing than the high school games, probably.
About the same. I mean, I don't know, other than some of the ones that I follow because some of the kids that I know.
Right.
Other than that, I don't know the high schools as well.
Right.
So
makes sense.
Well, I'm at dmeprepzone.com. Everybody should go to dmeprepzone.com if you hadn't already, because we've got all the breakdown of what games are going on this week. You'll have live scoring there on Friday nights. So be sure to check out dmeprepzone.com. Title sponsor this year, Bevill State Community College. Thank them for coming on board and helping us to be able to do this every week. Let's get straight into the games. The first game is a Thursday night game. Curry, who was 0-10 last year, 0-10 the year before too, at Carbon Hill, who was 4-6 last year. Johnathan, you start us off. Who's going to win this one?
I took Carbon Hill. I mean, Curry, new coach on both of them, actually.
Right.
But they just have more coming back. The quarterback's back. I think Devin Daniel, their running back, he'll play a big part in this game.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
Okay.
He only had I think he had 2 touchdowns last year. He might match that.
In this
week.
game?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I took Carbon Hill.
All right. Renee, who did you take?
Carbon Hill.
Got any reasons for that?
History.
Mm-hmm.
Just that's the main reason.
Well,
and Curry, bless their hearts.
I agree. You know, in recent history with Curry, it's been rough, and I do think we'll see improvement out of Curry this year. I think Coach Emerson's going to do a good job. It's just going to take a little while to build that program to even just a win. It will take a little while.
They've got the right coach.
Yeah. It'd be great because I mean that's our kids on
Right,
the water,
right.
so we'd love for Curry to do great.
Right. All right. Next game we've got. I'm going to look on my PrepZone list. Haleyville at Addison. Well, this is an interesting game. They played last year as well. You would think Addison, Haleyville, typically you'd go Addison in those games because they're such a powerhouse. And I'm going Haleyville, though. I think Haleyville gets the win, and Addison follows here this first week of the season.
Yeah, I did too. It's just a bigger school. It's 4A, I think, or is it 5A? 4 or 5A against a 2A. It's kind of like the Jasper, playing a smaller school. Eventually, they'll wear them out.
Right, that's what.
And they're pretty good. Now, if this was a bad 5A school, I'd take Addison, but I'll take Haleyville.
Hey, we did the story on Preston Reed. His dad is the principal at Haleyville.
That's right.
Davey Reed.
I took Addison.
Wow, here we go. We got a different one now.
I took Addison, home game, season opener. Wishing them well.
There you go. I like that.
Big rivalry game.
All right, here's another one that I think will be a pretty interesting game. Cold Springs at Meek. Johnathan, you said you were at practice this week and you bought into the Meek philosophy, right?
I did. Yes. Now they got some guys in, recruits.
Don't say recruits.
They got some transfers in.
Wait a minute.
And they'll be playing a big part. And they have a lot of kids back. This is a huge senior class. Right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you look, they won one game last year. I mean, it is what it is, right? And Cold Springs beat them by 3. I think it was 43-40.
Yeah, it was a close game.
So it's at Meek. I think they're fired up. I think they're actually going to be pretty good this year.
Yeah.
Now, in that region, it might not mean a lot, but I think they'll win this game.
Yeah. Renee, what do you think?
I picked Cold Springs.
Well, and that's probably similar to your Curry pick, too. Meek has just struggled so much in recent years.
For sure. And even though it's not a home game for them, I still went with it.
There you go.
Who did you pick?
I am going with Meek. I think I bought into your hype of Meek.
Right.
I was already leaning towards picking them, and then when you came back from practice and said that Meek looked good, I thought, well, okay, we're just going to go with it this time.
I was like, wow, Meek looks good. They had good size, a lot of players. Yeah, it was different.
What are you doing helping him?
It's just in normal conversation we talk about this stuff. Okay.
Love the coach, everything.
Now this is a huge game. Oakman at Gordo. Gordo is such a powerhouse every year. Oakman was right there with them last year. And I so bad I want to.
Like 1 or
I think it was
3?
Like 13-7 or something like that.
It was bad.
Was it bad? I thought it was a close game.
It was a close game.
It was really close.
All right.
For a quarter.
Well, never mind. I'm talking about a different game. Maybe it was the year before they were close.
Yes, they lost by 3 that year.
That's
true.
It.
That's
okay.
it.
That's
okay.
Right.
All my years are running together. I've done this for 25 years now.
So last time they went to Gordo, it was very close.
Okay, last time they were at Gordo, it was a really close game. Let's forget about last year. I'm going with Gordo, though, because they are fairly unstoppable. Yeah. Renee, what you got?
I did the same. I still picked Gordo.
I did. They were runner-up last year in 4A. The quarterback is Oregon commitment of all things.
Yeah.
It's really strange, but if Oakman could win this game, my gosh, but I picked Gordo.
And it's so weird to say Gordo is a 4A, too. Like, they've grown so much recently. They were 2A for years.
Last 2 years, 4A.
Yeah. All right, Summerton Christian travels to Victory Christian. I went with Summerton Christian in this one. I have no reason why. I just think that they've improved so much the last couple years, and I think that they're at a point where these close games, or what should be close games, Summerton Christian will eke out some of those wins.
Yeah, I mean,
I did the same. Summerton Christian.
Me too. I just think, they lost this game last year.
They did. Yep.
I bought into Summerton Christian too. They look good on the field.
Well, one thing,
you gain momentum as you're going, and I feel that's the reason I picked them.
Right, and they really did build momentum last year. And then when I saw their kids at Media Day this year, they're so much larger and they were stronger. It just seems like
good.
Coach Powell has been there a couple years now, and so that weight training and everything is starting to show. And I think that'll be the difference in this one. All right. Biggest rivalry in the county. Who is it, Johnathan?
Carbon Hill, Curry.
Come on.
No, this one has been going on 97 years. You can go in and talk about it.
Dora at Cordova. People have been killed over this game. No joke. People have been shot and killed over this game.
Not recently.
Not recently, okay. But it has happened. There's documented proof.
Real?
Yes. If you go back to the first Walker magazine, it tells the story of the Dora and Cordova rivalry, and people have been shot over it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's interesting.
Let's not have any of that.
And it goes back to the coal mine days. Like people would just come straight out of the coal mine, would sit all over them and everything, and watch the ball game, both sides. And so that was always a huge rivalry. And now they're playing on Saturday again, which is something that they used to do a lot. So it gives us football 3 days in a row here in the county, and everybody in the county will be at this game. Dora beats the brakes off of Cordova, I think. What about you guys? Sorry, Coach.
I hope it's
Mother.
closer than that. I mean, it's kind of two new coaches, kind of. Chavis been at Carbon Hill. He's back home. And a Cordova coach. Shane Smothers is in.
He was at Carbon Hill before, right?
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. So he's back home now, and they're just loaded.
Right.
Dora should be really good this year.
Yeah.
Cordova, 4th coach in 4 years.
Right.
They have a lot of kids out. Seem like they're young. They have some playmakers, but I just think Dora has more. So, yeah.
Going Dora. Renee?
So this is one that I've struggled with even like last year because Dora, Cordova, because we have several young men from our church that play for both teams.
Okay.
And then it's like, anyway, I did go with Cordova.
You went with Cordova? Oh. Wow, upset.
I did. So I'm hoping you guys are wrong.
I can't pick Cordova against Dora. I just can't do it. Even on a year where Cordova should beat them, I probably would go Dora just because I'm such a homer for my alma mater. But now we go to our game of the week. Before we pick the game of the week, we want to hear a little bit about what Coach Bailey had to think about Mars Hill coming into Jasper. So let's listen to Coach Bailey, and then we'll be back to give our picks on that game.
This is a very good football team. Do not for 1 second get caught up in, they're from a smaller classification or they're a smaller school. I think this is a very, very good football team. Coach Darrell Higgins, he was the offensive coordinator at Deshler for a number of years, back when they were rolling.
Right.
And then, really, I think he didn't start the program at Mars Hill, but he kind of came in the first few years on the ground floor and has really built that thing up to what it is right now. They've won 2 state championships in the past 3 years. They have played for 3 state championships in the past 3 years. That's a program that knows how to win.
Right.
That has good football players. So it is certainly a challenge. It's a challenge that we're excited for. And this is a very good football team that's going to be coming in here. Hopefully we'll have a very good atmosphere. And we're excited to go play a quality football team game 1.
He seems pretty confident going into this game, even though he's talked about how good Mars Hill is, and Mars Hill gave them everything that they could want last year. I think he just had that look in his eye like he has some confidence in his Vikings. So what do you think, Johnathan?
Yeah, I mean, it helps that they played them last year. They know what to expect. Because this is the kind of team that will sneak up on you. I mean, they beat Coleman last year and shut them out.
Right.
So they can win a game like this, but I think being here, being these seniors, being the first game really has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
So I'm taking them probably about as close as it was last year, 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 30-20.
I think that's right, yeah.
I think it'll be about like that again.
Renee?
So you're picking...
I picked Jasper.
You picked Jasper. I picked Mars Hill.
Mm.
So I either am going to pull way ahead of you guys this week or tank it.
Well, probably what will happen is we'll all miss a couple, and then we're all going to be tied again. That's how it typically works.
So I wanted to pick Jasper, but I did pick Mars Hill.
Mars Hill is such a good team. After they lost to Jasper, they didn't win again. I mean, they didn't lose again for the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. We talked about them a little earlier, and I mean, they score a lot of points, so it would not surprise me in the least for Mars Hill to win that game. But I'm going to go Jasper too. I think Jasper wins it. They need this one before they get into region play. They need a win or two, and this is a winnable game. So I hope Jasper pulls it out, and I think they'll win it. It may even be closer than last year. This may be it may come down to a P. Reed kick.
Right.
And having a good kicker could be the difference in the game.
The thing is, I mean, this team, they have a ton of kids. It doesn't look like a 2A. They'll bring a decent crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, this will be a fun game.
Yeah, it will be a good game.
I think Jasper get them.
Well, Renee, thank you for joining us this week to do picks. And like I said, people do not realize you are a tremendous pigskin prognosticator. Like, you are constantly beating me and Johnathan, and we try to figure out, what we are doing wrong. Sometimes I think it's just
sometimes it's luck of the draw, and
it is. Coach Spurrier used to say on good days that God was shining on the Gators. And I feel like that may be it with you sometimes. God's shining on Renee.
2 years ago,
I'll take that.
I think she ran the table 2 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the entire year.
Right.
I think somebody tied her 1 week, and that was it. And
And
she pulled away again.
On our limb picks
Incredible.
last year, Johnathan won.
Yep.
The year before you won,
Mhm.
and the year before I won. So we've got
some
Top
champions
three.
here.
Woo.
3 state winners here.
I wouldn't be surprised if one of us wins it again.
If one of us doesn't win it, I'm going to be upset.
I know, right?
Hey, but my wife's on the limb this year, but I plan on beating her by like 50, 60 games.
Maybe Stone can help her.
Yeah, maybe so. I hope not, though. I'm just going to let her she's going to pick based on what mascot she likes better or something.
What mascot?
Always works.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in this week. It's our first week for the 2021 season. We're going to be at all games this weekend. We'll have all these games covered. Be sure to check out Daily Mountain Eagle Facebook page. Check out dmeprepzone.com. We'll have full coverage from the Curry and Carbon Hill game. We're going to have Game of the Week with Jasper and Mars Hill. And then we'll turn around and we'll have all of our fun coverage and stuff for the Dora and Cordova game. So can't wait to see you guys at the stadiums this weekend. Come out, cheer on your teams. They all need your support. All these kids work so hard, and that's not just the football team. That's the band, that's the cheerleaders, it's the training staffs, everybody. So come out and support these student athletes and let them see that you have their back. So until next week, for Johnathan and Renee, I'm James Phillips, and we'll see you later.